find work. And the Treasurer joins us now. Josh, good morning to you.
Nice to be with you.
Yeah, good to have your company. What can we expect and when?
Well, we'll be making a major statement on the economy on Thursday, and obviously that will detail where the economy is at, the forecast, the debt, the deficit, the growth levels, but also we'll be providing an update on the future of JobKeeper and JobSeeker. And both initiatives from the government have supported Australians through a very difficult time. And we recognise that while many of the states and the territories are opening up their economy, a quarter of the national economy with Victoria is in lockdown. And this has had the effect of diminishing confidence beyond the Victorian borders, and the jobs market is still very tough, and so the support will continue to be rolled out.
OK, earlier we spoke to Richard Dennis from the Australian Institute. Here's what he had to say.
Unemployment's going to be with us for a lot longer than the government thought when it introduced this supplement. So if unemployment is going to last for longer, then I think it's only fair that the unemployment supplement lasts for longer.
OK, your response to that, Josh?
Well, we saw the jobs numbers just a few days ago, which showed that 210,000 people had got a job over the course of the last month. Now, this was double what the market was expecting. 60% of those new jobs went to women, 50% went to young people, and it was a sign that outside of Victoria the economy is opening up. But we're under no illusions. This is a very, very tough economic environment. There are many people who are either working 0 hours, having been stood down or seen their hours reduced, or indeed lost their jobs. And the government is there, whether it's with the $1.5 billion that we committed to apprentice wage subsidies, whether it's the extra investment that we're doing in skills, or whether it's through the JobSeeker and the JobKeeper programs. The government has the public's back.
OK, I mean, you can't return JobSeeker to what it was, can you? And people will fall below the poverty line.
Well, we're ensuring that there is generous government support for those people who are doing it tough, and there's a range of measures that we've introduced. We know that there's also going to be a transition, and you saw that with our announcements around childcare. You've seen that with the announcements with the banks that they're extending the loan deferrals for another 4 months. You saw that with the business incentives that we extended those. So we're ensuring that there is a transition, that there is no economic cliff, and that we can smooth out the changes that are being undertaken across the economy.
We know also, and I hear from them every day, about how tough small businesses are going. You're also talking about loans for small businesses. How's that going to work? And are you concerned at all that some will have dramas paying it back if they get them?
Well, businesses will make their own assessment about their economic circumstances, and will take out loans to support their growth opportunities or to maintain their working capital and to stay operational and viable. But today's announcement is great news for the 3.5 million small businesses. We're giving them access to more money at lower rates and for longer periods by extending the loan tenure from 3 to 5 years, by extending and expanding it from loans up to $250,000 to now loans up to $1 million. And we'll be partnering with the banks. It's a 50-50 guarantee scheme with the Commonwealth Government and with the banks, and this has already been taken up, Karl, by 15,500 businesses with more than $1.5 billion in loans already made available.
A couple of really quick ones if you can. You've also announced more funding for the support of aged care workers. We know it's been terrible amongst the aged care facilities in Victoria. Is this, are the changes going to make it safer?
Well, we're obviously working with all the aged care facilities right around the country to ensure that those most vulnerable Australians who are in their later years of life and are therefore more susceptible to the coronavirus and its devastating consequences, that they're getting all the support that they need and that all the medical advice is being adhered to.
OK, have you got more masks on the way? I don't know why they aren't mandatory in all hotspots everywhere around the country and anywhere where you can't socially distance, including planes. Is it time for a mandatory ruling?
Well, it's certainly the right thing to do here in Victoria with the mandatory use of masks, because we're seeing widespread community transmission, and in all circumstances you can't effectively socially distance, and in those cases wearing those masks can be very effective. As for other states, they will be decisions that their chief medical officers and those state governments and territory governments decide.
Okay, finally, and really quickly, Kanye, despite not what she was sceptical, he's launched his bid to become the President of the United States. Is the Australian government prepared to work hand in hand with Kanye?
Well,
Why are you laughing?
there's a duet on the way. I can see it. Well, because I think his chances would not be as great as some of the other candidates in the race. But let me just say this: that it matters for the American election, matters for the American people, and I'll leave it at that.
That's a yes. You'll work with Kanye. Beautiful stuff, Josh. Thank you.
We'll continue to partner with the United States.
No matter what. Okay, Ali.